بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. We are inshallah going to continue Zaad al-Ma'ad. This book talks about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and other stuff. There's all kind of stuff in this book. It's very comprehensive in terms of having fiqh and seerah and many other stuff. And I think, inshallah, it's very beneficial for us to know. We talked, I think, last time about the khutbah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we said the sunnah is to make the khutbah short and the salah long, because most people will lose attention after a while, more maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then people are not paying as much attention, at least, and everybody starts playing with something. Some people start drawing in the carpet, and some people start looking at the phone, and some people start looking at the clock, and some people start coughing and sneezing. They get sick all of a sudden, and their sickness gets better after salah is finished somehow. Yeah, so all these things happen when people get bored, basically. So the Prophet ﷺ's khutbah was mostly short, unless there is a reason for him to make it longer. And his mimbar was 3 steps. He used to stand on the 3rd step. When Abu Bakr became the Khalifa, out of humility, Abu Bakr went on the 2nd step, and Umar went to the 1st step, and Uthman went to the 3rd step. So that's what happened. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to stand on the 3rd step. When Abu Bakr became the Khalifa, he went down 1 step, so he was on the 2nd. When Umar became the Khalifa, he went down 1 step, so he was standing on the 1st step. When Uthman became the Khalifa, he went up all the way to the 3rd step, and they asked him, "You think you're better than Abu Bakr and Umar?" No problem. So he said, "Where do I go? I want me to dig under the ground. If I go down," and what Uthman did, radiallahu anhu, was right, because if you don't stand on the 1st step, you're going to stand on the ground, and there will be no reason for the mimbar, and the mimbar is sunnah. So he didn't want to terminate that sunnah. If he stands on the ground, what's the point of the mimbar? So he stood on the 3rd step, and Uthman radiallahu anhu is very humble himself. Wa alaykum assalam. There is no point in saying anything about that. And we said when the Prophet ﷺ used to give khutbah, he used to lean on a stick or a staff, and some view it as a sunnah. Some of the khatibs today, they hold a staff or a stick when they give the khutbah. But there is really no hadith that says you should do that. And we explained last time something important. If somebody is giving the khutbah and something happens in the khutbah, he should address that, not ignore it. And of course, it makes sense, because if you ignore it, people will not be listening to you. People will be distracted with what's happening. So that's another important thing. Now actually we're going to talk about wudu, the wudu of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now this is important because we do have different opinions about different things. But this one specifies mostly how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to make wudu. And we did have, if you remember a while ago, a program about how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to make wudu. So we'll go through some things. It's sunnah to make wudu for every salah. So even let's say you have wudu and you want to make wudu for another salah, is fine. If you don't want to, it's acceptable as well. The Prophet ﷺ, it depends on the availability of the water. So that played a role in how many times he will make wudu. And he will always, of course, advise everybody not to waste water when you make wudu. Sometimes we see people open the faucet all the way and they take a shower. You see people like everything is dripping. Like, what happened to you? You took a shower? So you should not waste too much water. There is a weak hadith, and it's in Ahmad and Tirmidhi, which is very weak. But the Prophet ﷺ says, if he said that there is a shaitan specific for the wudu. His name is Al-Walhan. That's a kind of name. That makes you have a waswasa, whisper during wudu. This is one of the common OCD situations. when you see people who repeating the wudu, they say, I probably did not do it right.
That's me.
That happens a lot. Maybe I didn't wash my hands that well, so let's do it again. Maybe I forgot to wash my face. A lot of wudu people have that OCD. One brother actually, especially the young ones, he came the other day, he said, I don't know, it takes me a while, half an hour to make wudu because I keep repeating, and maybe I missed something, And the hukum in this, you ignore it and you assume that you did it. You don't doubt yourself. So did I do my face? Did I not do it? No, I did it. Even if you didn't do it, if you were in doubt, it still counts for you. So you don't open that door for the shaitan. The hadith, which is very famous, that don't waste water even if you had a river, a flowing river, nahrin jarin. This is a weak hadith. So just to know that the hadith is weak. Even if you live or you own a whole river which is flowing, do not waste the water. But the meaning of the hadith is correct. We should not waste water. How did the Prophet ﷺ do the cleaning the mouth and the nose? And I explained that before. It's sunnah, and the book here agrees with that most of the time Prophet Muhammad ﷺ will use one, I don't know what you call that, amount of water in your handful, for the mouth and the nose at the same time. So what some people do, or most of us maybe, put water 3 times in your mouth and then 3 times in your nose. What he used to do, one time, both of them. So you put some water in your hand, right hand, in your mouth, and whatever is left in the nose, and then you blow the nose with the left hand. That is the sunnah. That is better than having separate nose and mouth. And of course, the sunnah is to do it 3 times. Here, the Ibn al-Qayyim, rahimahullah, is saying there is not a single hadith that says the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam cleaned his mouth and his nose with different water. Like 3 times for the mouth, 3 times for the nose. There is not a single hadith that is authentic about that. Mouth and nose at the same time. What about wiping the head? Are you supposed to put your head under the faucet and put head and shoulders shampoo?
No. The massage.
Take a shower.
Yeah.
Take a shower as you were at it. Yani. The masah, actually, the proper way, the correct way is you put the water 1 time front to back and 1 time back to front. I'm not going to do it now because it messes up my hair. But you do this and then back 1 time. Even this one is not known to be 3 times. More authentic, 1 time. The masah, 1 time. So you do your fingers between the hair back and then from the back to the front 1 time. And that is it. This is the best way to do it.
If you don't have hair?
Huh?
If you don't have hair, what do you do?
If you don't have hair, well, that's a very difficult situation. You get hair, I guess, and then you do wudu. Yeah, so even if you don't have hair, you just, and you wipe over your head. It's not a problem, inshallah. The neck is not sunnah. And there is no hadith that's about the neck, by the way. So the neck is, again, somebody, I don't know, just came up with this. There is no hadith about washing the neck.
For the ladies, do the same thing, put the hair.
You mean for the hijab?
No, for ladies, yeah. How they do the same thing the men does?
Front to back.
Not all the way down. Let's say the hair, the lady has a long hair.
Uh-huh.
No, she doesn't have to wash all of her hair.
Okay.
Just to the back of the head.
And then how do you come back again? She has to come back up front again or no?
Yeah. It's not that hard. I think it's doable. Yeah, inshallah. Of course, we mentioned before about the masah for the ladies. If they're wearing the difficult hijab, which with the pin and is difficult to take off and put back on, she can wipe over it. If it's the convertible one is easy to take off. Yeah. All right.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome.
If she has extremely long hair, let's say she had hair down to her waist, how is she going to
bring her hands back forward.
Isn't that like Entangled? What's that movie called again? That girl that has a very long hair that keeps growing and Tangled? Uncle Abdul Rahim knows. I'm surprised.
It's
Yeah, it's
Rapunzel.
cartoon. It's cartoon. Yeah, I don't think I watched it, but I was
It's Rapunzel. Rapunzel.
yeah, Rapunzel something her name. Right. Her hair keeps growing. Oh, about we said like and just you put this through the hair until the back of the head. No, you don't have to go all the way down to the hair. Yeah, just at the neck you stop, and then you go back.
How do you bring your hands back forward? You'll have a big mess of hair in your face.
Oh, I'm imagining it now. You can brush your hair afterwards.
Well, the thing is, I mean, can it just be messed? If it's all along like that, can it just be messed, or does it have to be long?
Some say you have to touch the scalp. You have to kind of like get the water there somehow. Yeah. So I guess this is a special situation if you have so much long, but still better, I guess, to do it. Yeah, just make a mess. It's okay. I mean, there are other ways. I'm talking about the most authentic way, one way front back and one way back front. But some say only front to back, and that's fine. So I'm just saying that the best situation. If you think you're going to make a lot of mess, let's do it one way, one time back from the front to the back. Some even do it 3 times, front to back. So there are different ways. I'm just saying about the best way, front, back, back, front, basically.
Thank you.
Inshallah. Well, yeah. All right.
Then fresh water part, yeah.
Yeah, you get fresh water for the ear and then use the same water for if you want to do masah on the socks. Of course, masah on the socks is sunnah, as a matter of fact, if you're traveling. And even if you're not traveling, for locals, you can do it for 1 day. And for the travelers, 3 days. Okay. Actually, the book is saying here, he did not use fresh water for the ears. The same water you had for the hair.
That's what you said in that video.
Yeah, the same water, you use it for your ears. You don't get fresh water for the, because again, subhanAllah, yani everything has a wisdom. You don't want the water to get in your ear because you can get an infection. So you just need a trace of water. Same thing with the nose. You don't want to get the nose all the way, it comes out of your eyes. So that's why you put it with the same amount in the mouth and then the nose. So you don't use fresh water for the ears. You after you do this, and then whatever is left, you clean your ears with it. Yeah. All right. So here again, they're saying there is no hadith about cleaning the neck anywhere. And another thing which is common, there is no dua at the beginning of the wudu. Many people say, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له اللهم اجعلني من التوابين واجعلني من المتطهرين. All these are very weak. You only say Bismillah. Bismillah, and you start your wudu.
And then at the end you say,
At the end you say أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. And there are many other awrad, it's fine in the end. But in the beginning, and you never say the niyyah out loud. You don't say nawaitu an atawadda, that I made the intention to make wudu with this. Allah already knows your intention. So you don't have to say that out loud.
only when you go Hajj, right?
The only situation you say the niyyah out loud is in the ihram, Hajj and Umrah. That's the only time. Other than that, you don't do that for any ritual, salah or siyam or anything. It's all in the heart, inshallah.
And socks, they should be thick and covering the ankles, correct?
Right, the socks have to be covering the ankle. These new socks that are very short, I don't like them at all for some reason. They're not socks. I like mini socks.
No, there is a reason. Like I can't see my arms.
No, this is fine. This is covering the ankle.
Like that one, that tight, I'm bored and I get pain.
No, I understand, but there are some that are very, very small. Very small. They don't cover anything. I don't know why. This is a new fashion. Some people will wear them, yeah. Of course, the Prophet ﷺ never washed beyond the elbow. Again, you might see it in some books that some people go all the way to the arm, the top part of the arm. The elbow is where you stop. Of course, the elbow has to be washed. Same thing when you wash the feet. Putting your fingers between the toes, he didn't do that all the time. So this, you do it on and off. The Prophet ﷺ did not do it every single time. The interesting thing is Prophet Muhammad ﷺ never dried himself after wudu. There is a hadith which is very, very weak that he had a towel and Aisha radiallahu anha will give it to him after wudu and he used to dry himself with a towel. This hadith is very weak and some consider it even to be a sunnah not to dry yourself after wudu.
There's like a hadith of the water.
Well, the hadith says the water drips and your sins drips with it. But that doesn't mean you don't have to dry yourself. And that doesn't mean you make a mess. But I remember this brother, he's a convert, and he says when he took the shahada, they taught him how to make wudu, and they told him, don't dry yourself. It's weird, this is not even approved sunnah. There is a dispute. This is not a big deal. You want to dry yourself or not, it's not a big deal. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did not dry himself. But if you're going to make a mess, they didn't have carpet. So he said this guy, he made wudu, and that was the first time. So he made some really proper wudu. He said, I came out of the bathroom and I was dripping water everywhere. On the carpet and so it's weird how people, you probably, I don't know if you listen to that today's class in the morning, Brother Aziz, subhanallah, he said something that's extremely funny and made me very, subhanallah. He said he goes to the da'wah in prison. And he says when that guy the accepts Islam, the prisoner, and he gets released, they make sure they tell him, don't go to the masjid. He said that, don't go to the masjid for 3 weeks. Because he said those people, they are still new Muslims. They don't know much. So they go to the masjid and they might make a mistake. Like one guy came inside the masjid with his shoes on. Everybody jumped him. Astaghfirullah, what is it? Calm down. It's not the end of the world. So people never come back again. And some people even leave Islam. And this happened in our masjid here. One brother accepted Islam. He took the shahada with me in Ramadan. And then he came to me, and I'm telling the story. It happened to me personally. He said, one brother at the masjid, I know him. I don't have to say his name. So and so, he has been treating him so bad that he decided to leave Islam and he's not coming back again. And he never came back again. So this is a very dangerous thing. Our job is to deliver the message, not to do the opposite. And if you don't want to do something positive, don't do anything negative. Be neutral at least. So this is very bad. Subhanallah. All right. Sometimes in the wudu, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to put water through his beard. Sometimes. So that is not a part of the wudu. That's not a part of the wudu.
Your beard is a lot longer than usual.
Really? MashaAllah. I am watering it every day. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah. All right. There is a weak hadith about Prophet Muhammad ﷺ moving his ring. He used to wear a ring for wudu. And the hadith is not authentic. So as long as the water goes underneath, you don't have to remove it.